Hey everyone, it's Layla Shaver here, owner of My RA Lawyer, and I'm here with another episode of Case Study Wednesdays. So today we're going to be talking about in the matter of Agen USA Investment Management LLC, Transamerica Asset Management Inc., Transamerica Capital Inc., and Transamerica Financial Advisors Inc. And this is administrative proceeding number 3-18681. So this was actually some charges that came out just a couple weeks ago in relation to the Transamerica entities and Agen USA investment. And the charges allege that the four Transamerica entities, as well as Agen USA, were involved in misconduct relating to faulty investment models they had and subsequent compliance failures in the fact that they didn't notify investors and essentially misled them. So investors had been putting billions of dollars into mutual fund and investment portfolios managed by Agen USA in the four Transamerica entities. The portfolio models were actually developed by a very inexperienced junior analyst. And it was solely developed by this analyst, so there wasn't like a group of analysts working on this. And at some point, various Transamerica executives realized that the model was not working. It wasn't working as promised. There were several errors in the models, and subsequently they stopped putting clients in these models. The problem here was that they didn't notify the investors that there were issues, that they were no longer using the models, and that these investors were then being put in different models. So this was found to be misleading. And so with the four Transamerica entities, which includes Agen USA, they were required to pay $53.3 million in disgorgement, so this is money returned to investors, $8 million in interest, and then a $36.3 million penalty, which came out to a total of about $97.6 million, which they were required to put into a fund that would be distributed to investors. In addition to the actual entities being fined, the global chief investment officer for Transamerica, he was found to have not independently checked the models, put any sort of oversight in place to make sure these models developed by this junior analyst were working, and he personally had to pay a $65,000 penalty. And then the director of new initiatives, he was found to be complicit in the compliance failures and not notifying investors, so he individually had to pay a $25,000 penalty. So a lot of money for something that a lot of you would probably be like, really? You actually did that, Transamerica? And the problem here is that this is actually something that happens more than you think. You have inexperienced junior people coming in and you put them on a project and they're supposed to be doing something, but there's no oversight, there's no checking their work, there's no making sure it's working, whatever they're developing, and you run into a lot of issues. And when we're looking at possible disciplinary actions by regulators, when we're looking at the kind of issues you can face, I mean, these are really glaring, simple things. You have a junior analyst that has no experience, and they've developed a model that you're putting billions with a B of dollars of investor money into their model, and you don't think like, hey, maybe we should have someone check this out, maybe we should test it, see how it performs, let's check it for errors. I mean, it seems really unusual, especially for a firm the size of Transamerica, to be so blatantly irresponsible in how they do business, but this happens a lot, and regardless of your size, regardless of whether you're a Transamerica or a startup RIA. And the second part of this is, whatever happens, if you royally fuck it up, you have to disclose to your investors. You have to tell people, hey, we messed this up, this is how we're gonna fix it, etc. Or maybe it's, we've decided this, this model portfolio is not working the way we thought, or it's not appropriate for today's market conditions. You have to Notify your clients. You're going to tell them how they change it, what you're going to do differently. And something like this where it's clearly your fault, and clearly there were errors from the beginning. Not even that, maybe you had one strategy that was good for a bull market, and now the market's changed and you want to use a different strategy. Not even that, just errors, clear errors, not functioning the way the portfolio was advertised to work. I mean, you have to make investors whole. And if they had done this, if they had disclosed it, if they had set something up, they could have avoided a lot of these interest issues, penalty issues. I mean, you're looking at almost 45 million just in penalties and interest for this error. So what can we learn? Have oversight. If you have junior people, if you have some inexperienced people helping you, that's okay. They need to learn. Eventually they're going to get to the point where they can do this shit on their own. But in the meantime, you are required to have oversight. You are supposed to manage them. You have to make sure that these things are working, that they're putting together, that they're effective, that they're done appropriately. And then the second piece is if something does happen, something changes, you have to tell your investors. You have to alert them, and you have to tell them what you're doing differently, and give them an opportunity to reach out to you and remedy any issues that may arise as a result. So, $97.6 million for the Transamerica entities, $65,000 penalty for the Chief Investment Officer, and $25,000 for the Director of New Initiatives. So it's a lot of money. But again, it's something we talk about every week. It is so easy to avoid these issues. It's so easy to keep regulators out of your pocket. It's so easy to avoid paying all this money if you are just straightforward, practical, and common sense in the way you run your businesses. But ultimately, things get lost in the scramble. Companies grow, people come and go. So, now's a really good time to get a mock examination done of your office, find out what's going on, let us come in, do a deep dive. We take on the role of the regulator in the sense that we put you through the process of what you can expect from an actual regulator, and we will find what's wrong. We'll find what you're not doing correctly, where there are deficiencies, where there are high-risk deficiencies, and where we can help you get those resolved before a regulator comes in. So give us a call, 770-462-2118. You can visit our website to schedule a consultation. It's www.myrialawyer.com, and you can also email compliance@myrialawyer.com to schedule a consultation. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Case Study Wednesday. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly, Leila, Leila, @myrialawyer.com. Thanks, guys.